One of the best ways to build something solid as a data analyst is to build projects that are dependent on real life data. What if I will show you how you can use BeautifulSoup in Python to scrape web data from an e-commerce website? Now, follow me if you are interested in this. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use BeautifulSoup, which is a library in Python, to scrape web data of an e-commerce website and use that data to build something solid, a dashboard that is relatable, that is interactive. Because this is a real life data, you are able to analyze real life data of an e-commerce website. So follow me, come with me.
All right, guys, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is to import all the libraries and the dependents that you need. If you don't have them installed on your system already, so you can install them. The things you need pandas. So if you don't have pandas, you can do install pandas pip, sorry. PIP install pandas. Now, because I have that, I don't need to do that. Then you also do pip install BeautifulSoup. If you don't have it, notice that I started with capital B, capital S, very important. Now, another thing you need is requests. Now, request is what we are going to use to interact with the web. All right, so if you don't have that, you install it as well. Then the last thing you need is for your Excel, because you're going to export to Excel, open Pi Excel. All right, you need this, you need to install this as well. Now, I haven't imported and installed all of this, then we can then import them. So to import, I'm just going to say import, for example, import request. All right, so from BS4, import BeautifulSoup. BeautifulSoup. All right, so from BS4, import BeautifulSoup. Now, notice the capital B, capital S. Another thing I would need is to import Open Pi Excel. I already have that. So then the last thing is import what else now? I think we are good. So then pandas to convert what we extracted from the web to a data frame. So pandas as maybe as PD. Then I can run my code. Now you can see it ran successfully. So meaning I've successfully imported all these libraries. Now the next thing you want to do is to go to your web browser and then pass in the URL of what you want, which is ggcars. All right. In my case, ggcars. All right. So gg.ng. So gg, or let me just gg.ng/cars. I want to scrape all the data of the cars on this e-commerce website to help people make better decisions, the price range, so that people can know the pricing of what they want of use or foreign use and the rest. So that's what we want to do with this project, right? So I'm on ggcars. Now, the next thing I need to do is to come to the first car. Now, this is the first car, and what I need from this, for example, is this price, the type of the car, it is the local use or automatic, and then maybe the description. All right, and then of course maybe the location. Now come to any part of this first picture, right click, and then go to inspect. All right, so this is where we are going to see the details of what we want. But before we go there, let's go back to our Python and then pass in the necessary write the necessary syntax. Now, for example, we've imported all we need to do. Then the next thing is to say URL, pass in our URL, in your URL we are looking at. Go back to your URL and then copy, come back and then paste. All right. The next thing you want to do is just hit enter. This is our base URL. So I want to ensure that I comment everything there. So this will be passing the URL. All right. I haven't done that. The next thing, to bring in your beautiful soup, and then let's first of all check the response using this. So check if this URL is going to respond to us respond appropriately. So I'm going to check. So how do I check? So I'll say if response. So if response dot status code is 200. Now you have to ensure that you know the difference between this sign and just one equal to sign. Double equal to means is 200. And one equal to means you are assigning, that is assignment operator. So for example, you want to assign it to a number, you want to assign a number to a container. So for example, you have container A, container B. You want to make container A have the value 2. So A is equal to 2, 1 equal to, that is assignment operator. This one is a check operator, more or less like you are checking. You are checking if the values are the same, right? We want to check, does this response status code equals to 200? That is what this is doing. Now, if it is true, then we can then call our, now I'm calling it soup. You can call it anything. Someone can say it's going to call it SP. So let's call it SP. All right. SP equals to, now remember that here you said from BS4 import beautiful soup. So you're not going to call that beautiful soup now. So beautiful soup. Now, ensure you take note of the capital B, capital A is very important. Open brackets, response dot content. And then you're now passing the HTML parser. Now, the work of this HTML parser is to ensure that you are able to scrape the HTML page. This is HTML, right? You're able to scrape that. This is CSS. So you're able to scrape those codes. That is the function of this HTML parser. All right. I think this should be capital small h. Now, SP, beautiful soup response of content. Now, if this is done now, then meaning what we have done now is we've ensured that beautiful soup is able to access this website and is able to scrape the HTMLs on that website. I hope that is clear. So if you want to check now, we can just say print SP so that you see what we have. Response is not defined. Let's define response here. All right. So response equals to request. All right. Dot get. Then you pass in your URL. Then we won't have any. So we need to can say here. Let's comment it. So define or access the web. So this, so response, we are naming it response, and we are saying, okay, this help us access the web. All right. So now we can say we can write this. So let's run this again now and see what we have. Beautiful soup, response or contents, tree builder, parser. This should be small p, not capital P. Right. Okay. So now you can see that all the content of that website has been printed. So Beautiful Soup as using this line of the code has helped us to extract every content of the URL we passed in there using this this guy HTML.parser. All right, there is another one. Actually there are two, HTML.parser and HTML. I can't remember the name now. All right, now I haven't done that. The next thing now is to now what we extracted. You can see this is document type HTML. Now we want to ensure that we format it to what we need. We don't need all the information. If you read through, every information that you need is there, but we need specific information. All right. So we need to now start finding what we need. So let's go back to the website and look at, since this is what we need, we don't need the picture. All right. Oh, it's because let me just right click again, inspect, and then go back to what I saw. Okay, this is it. So I'm going to type it, note B list advert based data. Okay, so let's come back. Then remember that this is an if statement. So everything you are doing will have to fall under this if statement. So ensure that you are indented well, right? So now I'm going to comment, let's say, find all cars. Find all cars. All right. Then ensure that you are indenting well. Let me just, so find all cars. Now I want to name it GG cars. Everything together, GG cars equals to, so I'm going to say, now remember that we've defined this as SP here. Now I'm just going to, let me comment this out. We don't need this. All right, find all cars. So I'm going to say SP now, which houses everything we have in this on this website, which is what you are seeing below, what we just run first. So SP dot find all. All right. Now, Beautiful Soup has two major functions now: find all and find. Now, I want you to, as the assignment, what's the difference between find and find all? That's your first assignment now. Now, there is a distinction between them. All right. While you can use find all, one of them I'll give you is you can't use this find all under for loop. All right, but you can use find. When you want to find just one division, you use find. All right, but if you want to find everything, you find all. And you can't use find all in the for loop. All right, I hope that's clear. So I'm going to open my bracket now, and then I'm going to pass in the class, the type of HTML. It's a div. So in quotes, div, comma, remember the name, class, then I'm going to go back to check. Okay, it means B list advert based data. So B list in quote as well, right? B list advert based team data, right? Let me check again. Okay, advert based underscore data. So you have to ensure that you are writing it the same way it appears here. Then I can close this and close the bracket. Now I've used this to find everything under what I need, right? What I need, right? You can as well still do a print to see how this looks like. But there is no need to do that again. Now, the next thing now is to look through, because now, okay, before we look through, I'm just going to do this first. Now, let's now find each of the characters we want. Now, for example, we need the title. So let's extract the title or the name. Extract the car name, right? All right. So for that, I'm going to call it maybe car name, or let's just call it name. All right. So, and then I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to use this GG cars now, because that's where everything says. GG cars dot find. All right. Now, I'm not going to go back to my website. This is the car name. All right. You're going to need to over, or to make things very fast, just right click on the name and then click inspect so that you see the one that captures what you are looking for, right? Now, this is the last one. Well, most times you can see this is also still showing, this is also showing what you need: item, data, title. You can see item, title. You can still see. So this is like the parents. You can still see. So this is what we are looking for. But again, it's better to always go to the last div or second to the last most times. All right. So for me, I'm going to use this. All right. The item title. All right. And one other thing that can also help you is to see that the title is written as the last name. So let's use this now. B list B list advert base. No, so this is B. Okay, this is QA. Should we use this? Let's use this. Let's use the one that has B list since we are using B list in our code, right? So B list advert base data height. All right. Let me see again. Let me see if there is another B list. Let's QA list. Okay, let's use this. So B list advert base underscore underscore. So B list advert base underscore underscore data underscore underscore title. So I'm just going to copy this to make the work faster. Then I'm going to come here and just B list advert base underscore underscore data underscore 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 title, right? And then I'm going to close the bracket. Now that has given me the car name, right? Now, but if so let me try and run this so you see. But now if I say print name, so that we check. What's saying? You just ask now to find your February 20. Okay, let's see. I'm supposed to now do a for loop, right? Right. For let's say for car in GG cars. Yes, if you run a for loop that now since we are going to So let me ident. How did I ident that? Just highlight Ctrl Z. Highlight and then press tab. All right. So since it's going to be under these GG cards, so the best thing, since everything is under these GG cards there, so you are going to need to run a for loop, right? Loop through, extract the car name, or let me just say extract, or let me just write here, this one should be X, and then this is for extraction. All right, and then this is, I'm going to comment here and then loop through to extract details. All right, so now let me try and run again. This is for car in digital, so this should be car. Okay, car dot fine. Let's try and run now. Okay, so you can see it has given us, you can see these are the name. Project 2000 white, Thailand 22 green, this. But we don't need all these stories here. We don't need all these HTMLs and this other details, right? So how do we stream it off? So that's what I want to do now. So here, before I print, I'm just going to say, okay, let me call it car name, right? Car underscore name, capital equals to. Now to strip it off, I'm just going to say name dot, all right, dot test dot strip. Now this is you can see dot test here is said, okay, please from this name which is HTML, please dot test passing a function to convert it to a test, because it is only with a test that I can perform a strip function, right? So dot strip to now strip, meaning to strip out what or only to strip out other things aside and leave only the test part. And if you see what you are seeing there, the only one that is like a test is this. Other ones are just tags. Strip it off of the task. So, and that is what is being written here. Of course, I'm going to put that in quotes. Then you can just pass in that if your car now, your name, if it is name, or maybe I should, if it is name, right? Else, if it is not name, right, you just pass in NA or what do you pass in? New. Now, what this is saying is if name is found, if this is found, if you can find any test, now return it. If not, return nil, right? So in cases where maybe there is no car title there, return nil, right? So that is what this is doing. Now so if we run this again, let's just change this now to car underscore name. So let's see. Now you can see now it has stripped off all other details aside from the text. All right, so you can see these are the names of the cars. Now, since we've already successfully done this, we don't need to print this, right? So we can remove it. Now I can then just copy this, all right, and duplicate over for as many that I want. So we already established that we want the name, we want the price, we want the description. So I want this model or mode. And we can also capture, I think I tried capturing this location. So it's not, so the location is seems is not part of the um of the HTML, more or less like there's a way they inserted that, right? They did not make it accessible. All right, so let's just the name, you can the description. So I'm going to change this to tab. Car name. Then let me call this one description. All right, and then let me call this one price. The price. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good. We're good. The name, the description, the price. Okay, and then let's talk about the type, which is this one. The type, is it locally used or automatic? Is it locally used or is it foreign used? Very key. Uh, yes. Let's go back. And then, okay, we still have one. So the type, car type, right? Okay. Now that we have that, then we can go back and then find the D for description. All right. So let's go back. This is our description. Right click on it and say inspect. All right. This is our description. Yeah, I think this captures our description. So let's just try the B list advert base underscore description space test. Let's go back and we'll just change this B list advert base, B list advert base underscore description space hyphen test underscore. Here we just change this one to description. And then the next thing, this one is no longer so space test, correct? Yeah, I think so. Then we can still leave this here though. The only thing now is we have to change the name to maybe something we want. Let me call it DSPR, yeah, DSR. Then I want to call this one card descript, right? Let me call this, yeah, descript. Then here I'm going to just change the parameter, just like we did for the first one. So what we are doing basically here is just to repeat what we've done. And then I'm going to change this one, of course, to descript, right? Yes, this should be fine. Then we'll do the same for price. Let's for price tag. Where's the price? Right click, inspect. This is the price. Okay, yeah, this is the price. Let's just capture it straight away. Now, keyword space advert with price. So that's quite simple, easier. So let's just clear this out and say keyword. Ensure that you are writing it the same way it appeared, right? Nothing keyword space adverts space price. Yes, I think I still remember. Now let's just name this one price, right? And then car price, right? Let's let's change it to small letter so that we don't have to keep writing even these ones. Just change them to small letters. Okay. Yeah, this one of then this to price. Then this is the price, correct? Price. So car price, yeah. And the last thing is um the what's it called now, the type, which is this. Is it locally used or very used? Let's try it. Yeah. I think this is also the B list advert base underscore item attribute. So again, just going to write that as well. B list advert base underscore, think so, underscore item ceiling. underscore, then space attribute. So it's not underscore, it's space ATTR. All right, so again, we'll change the name to maybe type, and then type, then this as well to type, and then this to type. Now, the next thing we want to do is we have captured everything we want. Now, but remember that we are not capturing this just for us to see. We want to ensure that we put this inside make this a table, right? Make it in table format. Now, meaning we need to change it to a data frame. So how do we do that now? Now, to do that, we need to capture everything we've done into a list and then convert that list into a data frame. So let me call it my data, right? So my data is going to be an empty list. Now that my data is an empty list, now I can go down and pass every of my results here into that list and append it into that list. So how do I do that? So I'm just going to comment that. Remember, you are still inside that for loop. Don't forget. So I'm going to say, now remember how you append it to a list. So my data, so it's going to be, let me put a comment. Append into a list. All right. Now I'm going to say my data dot append. Now I'm now going to append it. So I'm going to make it like a dictionary kind of, more or less like, okay, the name I want to give it. All right. And then meaning my final name and then the name that I use there, correct? So I'm going to pass into a dictionary so that it takes it once. So I can just, remember that your dictionary starts with this. So the first one, which is my name, I want to name it maybe title. All right. Title. And then remember the dictionary. So in my title, I'm passing in like car name. Comma. We can decide to, again, the next one, I want to name it description. Description. And that is this. All right. The next one, I want to name it price. Yes, price. Nothing much. Oh, sorry, I omitted comma here. And then you capture this name, per price. And then the last one is type. So I'm just going to call it type. And then capture the name I use the car. Remember, it has to be exactly the same way it's written. If not, you run into error. Then I can then close my dictionary. Let me close on another page and then close that list. Now, I've captured everything I need into a list. Now, the next thing is, remember that we said here, you have to close this here if. If response or status code is 200, which were the one we use to check if the code we wrote here to get our URL, if it is running fine, yes. If it's testing, all this will run. If it's successful, all this will run. Now we need to pass in the S now. Remember, identification is key. Where is it? It starts from the beginning. So I can now pass in my S. Now I don't want to stress myself. I can just say S none. Meaning just return nothing. Don't answer. All right. So S none, we don't need any other thing there. Now, the next thing you want to do is, now if you run this now, let's just try and run. You can see this has run. If I come here and say my data, let's see what we have. It has captured our data. The title, the description, this is the description for one, and then the price, and then the type, local use, right? If it is foreign, it's we have our data now. Remember that what we have just captured, what this HTML has just captured for us is this first page. All right. All right. That's just done for the first page. Now, we need to capture as many pages as possible. How do we do that now? That is because we need enough data. So let's say we just want to capture, let's say 200 pages. Now, in that case, we need to now modify our code and run another for loop, right? So for loop to now check for each page. But before that, let's specify the number of pages we want to extract, right? So we can just specify that anywhere here. So let's just specify pages, number of pages, number of pages. Let's say we want to get 200 pages, right? Right, 200 pages is what we want. Now, we need to now run this through a for loop. So meaning there must be a for loop before this one starts, because this is just for the first page. Now we want a for loop for many other pages. All right, so meaning we have to run the for loop here. So for, let's say for page in number of pages. All right. So for page in range, should be range. For page in range. Now we are starting from page 1 and we are going to end in what? Want from page 1 to page 200. So, but the way Python works, now I'm going to pass a number of pages there, number of pages. Now, the way Python works, if you stop at 200, which is this 200, it will run from 1 to 199. So you have to do +1, all right, so that it captures the last page, which is page 200. Now, since you've done that, then it means, remember, anytime you are running a for loop, if you have to ident. So meaning we have to pass all these ones now, we now have to ident them even further. So they have to go by one indentation, correct? So you can now start by just pressing tab. Now you can now come here and start typing now. Now we want to now construct your URL to ensure that it captures all the pages, correct? So all right, so now here now, instead of what we passed, where is it? Yeah, response, okay, get URL. Okay, so now we can now pass in this URL equals to, now there is what we call formatting, number formatting using F, right? Now I'm going to pass in, which is my base URL, the URL here, URL, and then that will be a dictionary. All right. Then I'm going to pass in a question mark to format it. So just have to master this page equals to the page. So I'm going to pass in this page up here. All right. And then finish your code. So what we're saying is that the URL, and then we are changing pages for pages in page. So this change from page to page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, like that. So that captures that now. Yeah, so let's try and run. Okay, yes, that's run, and okay, we are fine. That's extracted everything we need. Let's just check again. So we extracted 2 pages, title, description, that's run that. So 200 pages, depending on the number of data. All right, so the next thing I want to do, so we will use this to capture all pages. Now, the next thing we want to do is, remember that this is a for loop for page in page. So stop. So to just stop is a for loop. We have to ensure that we stop that, to stop that loop. So I'm just going to pass in maybe an else statement, right? So we're just going to come up with this. Else, can just print anything. Just say print request field, request not reached or something. Request not reached. All right, let's request not reached for response. So, and then let's see, so let's print that status code. Then you print the status code. All right. Yeah, that's it. Now, the next thing now is we've extracted our data into a list. my data. But now let's convert it to a data frame. Remember Python data frame. Remember we imported that pandas as PD. Now is the time. So we want to convert to a data frame, come out of that loop, and then say maybe Excel data or something equals to PD dot data frame. Please take note of the capital D, capital F, and then you can just pass in my what? My data. So what I'm saying is that please help me convert this, my data, into a data frame. All right. Then after doing that, I need to now save it in Excel. So I'm going to come, it's also very good to comment, convert to a data frame. All right. And then I want to now extract to Excel. And pandas has the library called, so you're now going to say Excel, or let's give it a shorter name. Let's just say data. All right, so data dot to what? To Excel. And then you pass in the name you want to give your Excel. So I'm going to say ggcars dot. So, and then you pass in the type of Excel, XLX, XLXS, right? That's Excel. Don't forget it has to be in quotes. Yeah. And then we are good. So, but let me comment this out. Let's just look at our data frame. Let's just say data. Let's look at how our data frame looks like. Printed, but now there's an issue. It's printing the same kind of data. So let's check where that issue is. Okay. Okay, I think it's still giving us the same. So let's see. I think it's the indentation. Let's check very well. All right. This should be under the for loop here. Yes. Then this should be under the if. Let's see. Yes. So let's rerun. Let's see. Check the for again. This should be. Oh, my data is out. So that's why. This should still be under, yeah, this should be like this. So that's where the issue is. Now it's clear now. Then yes, this can now work like this. Yes. Yeah, we should be fine now. Oh, result is out now. All right, this looks good. This is this is different now. So identification was the issue. So now let's do something. Yes, this is cool. This is cool. Now let's do something. So what we're going to do is let's make this 200 and then let's write it straight away to bgcars XLSL and then rerun. Right, this has run successfully. Let's check now. The name is ggcars.xls. So I'll go to this is always in my local disk, users, user, then gg. Now gg, this is a ggcars. Name is gg. Let's check the name again. Ggcars. Yes, so this is correct. Oh, great. Data is ready. How many rows of data do we have? Wow, we have 4,000 data sets. So we are going to be working with these 4,000 data sets, and further details is going to be fast. I hope we've learned something. So this is, I'm going to put the link to this data set in the description. All right, for those that were participating in the upcoming challenge. Right? Thank you. So just one more time, let's review the code. Here we imported the request, and then BeautifulSoup, and then OpenPy Excel. This OpenPy Excel is what allows us to convert to Excel. There are other substitute to this. You can also, there are also libraries that can be used in the stead. Then we pass in a URL, number of pages we want. We pass into the data into a list, and then we run a for loop to check through all the 200 pages. We use this to access the URL, and then we are using this to check. We use BeautifulSoup to access the content, and then define all and defined to access the div, and then we capture that into appended into our list, and then we convert it to data plane. Hope this helps us. Thank you. See you some other time. My name is Michael. I love you all.